Hey there, this is Jeff from Garden Hydroponics. Just had the system fall asleep. Basically, the water's just now kind of shutting down and running out for another little 45-minute break. And I wanted to take the opportunity to move some plants around that needed some more space and to plant some new juvenile plants. As you can kind of see behind me, I've got a couple of new Roma tomato plants and some cherry tomato plants from a husky variety, and we're going to put some more tomatoes in the hydroponic garden today. And then also we'll show you some stakes that I picked up to stake some of the cherry tomato plants that are getting a little bit taller. I've been trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do to help support those, and I think just a simple stake and Velcro tomato Velcro wrap is probably the best way to do that. So I'm going to show you that here in just a few. Thanks. Okay, so I'm going to move some of the head lettuce, really kind of filling the pot here. There are actually 5 plants. They were much smaller juveniles, but now as they've started to grow, they've taken up the whole pot, and I just know for them to get to the size that they're supposed to get to, that I will need to spread those out. So I'm going to move 2 of them, particularly probably this corner here and this corner here. Leave the one in the center and then the 2 on the far corner in this pot, and move those 2 out. And I'm going to move them into this pot. Now what this is basically I had started some seeds this morning, and just had them sitting out here, but these are some actual romaine seeds that I'm working on. So they're just sitting out here as I kind of get the initial seeds started on those romaine plants. So we're going to move these next, and I'll show you how to do it. First things first, we basically just have to dig a hole. Fairly straightforward. As you've seen in past videos, this is just a neck to kind of control the splashing. I can move that, put that off for right now, and then I'm going to dig a hole that will allow them. I'm actually going to move them both probably simultaneously, so I'll just make a hole big enough to move them both into. And you want to get down to the water line so that the roots get plenty of water, which not too difficult to do here. Now that the water's turned off, it's kind of hard to see what water line is, but you can kind of tell with the wet rock that you're down in it. So now I've had that hole, I'm going to move the plants. And kind of tough to do one-handed, so I'm going to go ahead and just gingerly kind of reach in underneath the plant, get down into the medium, and get underneath it, and then lift them out. They should be fairly loose in there, so I'm going to do that and try not to damage them using both hands. So be right back. Okay, so now I've gotten in there and I was able to pull out the plants that I wanted, and should have looked at it a little closer, because not too many people buy 5 plants. Usually they come in pairs, and when you buy them as small juveniles, and sure enough, there are actually 2 that were over here on this side, and then 1 up here in this corner. So now I've got 3 here, and I've got my 3 juvenile head lettuce plants. So I've actually dug out a hole here in the corner, and I'm going to kind of put it in the same configuration where I have 2 in each corner and then 1 in the front center. So just to kind of show you, lots of new growth as far as the root system on that, and basically just put it down in the rock. See if I can show you. And you just basically just kind of move the rock around it nice and gently. Make this hole a little bit bigger. Place the juvenile plant in the hole, and then just gently move the rock in and around it. Making sure to cover up all the going on, and then I'll dig out the last hole. Like I said, we'll make sure you get down into that area where you've got water. And this one here looks like it has not gotten much water yet, so I'm kind of picking some of the wooded leaves off the bottom of it. I'll go ahead and make sure it's in a deep enough hole out here where it can get some sun, and so it can get caught up. That's why it was so squeezed in there that it wasn't going to grow like the others. So it should now be in a much better position. But basically, that is how you very easily and very quickly move some of your juvenile plants around. And now we're going to work on planting a couple of the new Roma tomato plants. So I'll be right back. Okay, so when planting your juvenile plants that come in these little pots, the easiest thing to do is to first go in and get this whole plastic off, and I just make a quick little cut, and it really just kind of peels off at that point. They're in these little biodegradable pots, but we got to get all that off. We got to get all the. We start by getting this, and I can show you what I'm. So it's just the Bonnie plants. See if it focuses here. There you go. Some just their classic paste tomato, Roma tomato. And then you just peel off the outer segment, just really carefully, but not so delicately. Just kind of dig through and get that biodegradable pot off of it. You want really just to get down to the pot itself, or to the plant itself, and then all you do is just get a little bucket of water and support the plant as you're doing it. And I got it a little bit deep in there, but just kind of wash that dirt off. You don't need the dirt in your hydroponic system, but you're not going to get it all off. So just kind of support the plant as you're going through this process, and you can kind of see it's a lot of the dirt's fallen off already, and it's, you also see my finger. Sorry about that. That's the second time I noticed today that I'd done that. But once you get most of that dirt off, there's some sticks and some other things in there, but you just want to get it, and you don't want to hurt the current structure. And then you just basically take it over to your pot and kind of do the same thing. Pull the hole down, make sure you get down into the There's a seed pod that never did show. Get down into the wet gravel, or the wet medium. And even better if you can see water, which I can in this particular pot. And then you just basically just very carefully push it in there, and then carefully move the gravel around it. And the gravel will help it stand up, which is the whole reasoning behind the medium anyway, is to basically just get it off. And once you've got it where it's pretty well covered and you know it's down in the water, you're done. So I've got that one. Got a couple more Roma tomato plants right here that are going to go into this pot. And then I've already planted 2 new husky plants, and I replaced this bell siphon, so it works a lot better and keeps things a little bit drier down here now. And then I've got 2 more of the husky variety that are going to go in one of the pots here on the far side here. So lots of tomato plants going in. We like our tomatoes, and so far we're having good luck with the cherry tomato plants. So they're growing rather fast, so I'm looking forward to getting them in there. And here you can see the actual stakes that I chose. They cost $1.98 over at Home Depot. And if you look, all I'm using are the little Velcro straps to hold them to the pole. A little bit closer in there. But as they grow, I think it was like $3.49 for a really big roll of it, of the Velcro straps. And I can just keep pushing them up the pole as they grow. And then I've got a couple more poles I purchased for the new plants that are coming in. I bought some of them that were rather large juveniles, such as this guy here. So he's going to need some support here before too long. But then, like I said, they're only $1.98. I can go get a couple more of those as these other plants start to grow into size. But I think that was going to be the simplest and fastest way to get the support that they need, and to not have to build anything really huge. I had thought about putting a canopy over this with wires that I could tie, that I can string down into the different pots. It just seemed like it was a little overkill for what I really needed, which was just a little bit of support. And the pea gravel does a really good job of keeping the stakes upright. So looks like it's going to work. But I've got some planting to do. Still got probably about an hour and a half before dark, so I'm going to get to it. And if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe below. Have questions, email me. No problem. This is Jeff with Garden Hydroponics. Thanks. Bye. Okay, just wanted to give you this last little bit of an update with this video. It's still not dark yet, but I've got all the planting done, and the plants moved that I wanted to move for the day. Just to kind of show you some of the new residents. 2 husky cherry tomato plant variety. Then the stakes for the 2 juveniles that have been in here for 2 weeks now. Just a quick look at pair, or actually ended up getting 3 Roma tomato plants off of that pair. And in this particular pot, a couple more Roma tomato plants in this pot. The 3 head lettuce that were migrated from this pot that once contained 6, now contains 3. And then 2 more, one husky variety and one Roma tomato variety tomato plant. And then, as I said, this is actually a container that has some of your standard little seed pods. Drop some red Romaine seeds in just to get them started. I'm going to give them a day or so, and I'll probably take the lid off as they start to sprout. So, and water them daily at that point, just to kind of keep them moist. But that's this evening's new residence, and it's starting to become a pretty full little garden. So, looking forward to what the weeks ahead. Refreshed the water today. Also refreshed, added another package of the Miracle Grow all-purpose water-soluble plant food, and added 16 ounces of Epsom salt to the fresh water. So everybody's got new nutrients and should last me at least 2 weeks. Let's keep following and subscribe below. You'll see my updates as this little farm takes off. All right, have a good day.